Geometry Dash has a huge problem that I don't think is getting fixed. Over the years, we've seen various game-breaking bugs and community-wide movements shape the way the game is played for years to come, but for some reason, this one feature has gone under the radar from the mainstream community scrutiny for such a long time, and I debate it's one of the biggest features in the entire game. For some context, creating in GD, as much as there is a huge amount of skill to be gained, is almost entirely subjective. This means that while you can learn certain techniques, disciplines, and styles, whether someone actually finds it to be good is completely up to them. This has resulted so many times in levels coming out that tons of people complain about as they truly believe it's the worst thing to ever exist, while the other half thinks it's peak and praise it like it's the modern Mona Lisa. But why does this matter? Well, it turns out that the game's rating system is actually completely dependent on this. Without the rate system, I truly believe that the creating community as we know it would not have flourished nearly into what it is today. From mainstream hits like Tidal Wave by Onilink to controversial decisions in Backlash and Bliss by Marwick and Burgaz, let's take a venture into how exactly the rate system works, and why it kind of sucks. Also, just a reminder to subscribe. I make tons of content here like build tutorials, live streams, and commentaries, and I even plan on releasing a level every single month this year, so you don't want to miss out on that. But let's get into it. Levels getting featured in the game has always been a massive part of the community. For most, it grants a sense of validation knowing that your work is appreciated and has been seen and enjoyed by RobTop himself. It can aid you in gaining fame and notoriety while also serving as an in-game stat that has achievements about it too. Even outside the scope of the game itself, we see its importance. Popular sites like the Geometry Dash Demon List, which debatably features some of the most important levels in the game, only will place a level after it gets rated. It's needless to fully explain just how much of a key component it is in the community. It can't be understated. Interestingly though, I found that while it does serve such a key role in everything creating that we do, most people don't even know how it really works. In fact, I didn't even know the exact specifics of how it worked, and I've been playing the game for over 8 years now. But with the help of a couple Geometry Dash moderators, I was able to get a very clear answer. So, first, you upload a level. You worked extremely hard on it, and so you join a couple moderators' Discord servers and add your level to their level request queue. Given a few days, the mods see your levels and is like, oh my god, this is absolutely peak, because you guys are all amazing creators, and sends the level to be a mythic extreme demon. You know what, even for example's sake, we'll even say that it was sent to a couple other mods and they also sent it for legendary or mythic. Your level gets added to the queue a handful of times, and from our perspective, this is amazing. This means that your level will most likely get rated fast and get a really good rating when it does too. Unfortunately, RobTop didn't see your level in the queue for about 8 months. Or maybe he ignored it, who really knows. But hey, now he's looking at it and it doesn't seem like he liked it that much, so it got rated as just a feature. The community is in an uproar that this new level got robbed of a better rating, and Twitter is blowing up about it. But in the end, time goes by, you're told blindly that the level is either peak or mid continuously until eventually, everyone just forgets and moves on. Sound familiar? Well, on a lot of occasions, things like this have happened. Tidal Wave, the current hardest level in the entire game, sat unrated for nearly 6 months before RobTop finally caved in. The community was up in arms about whether the level should be rated or not, with tens of thousands of people backing it. In the end, we barely convinced RobTop, and he ended up giving it a rate only. On the other end of things, we've seen levels like Bliss by Marwick and Burgaz, I Don't Wanna Go by myself and Convi, or XO by Carmel. All rated or featured levels that in a large amount of the community's eyes are just glorified layouts. This really brought up the idea time and time again of the rate standards and what exactly makes up a good level. Other levels like Recropolix or Lighted Up are still not rated even after years of constant requests and complaints about it. Hell, there's even an entire Twitter account dedicated to showcasing great levels that haven't been rated. Whether they be decisive opinions from the community or a complete coin flip, the root of the issue always reveals itself. No matter what the community thinks about any level in the end, it's always up to RobTop's opinion to determine what it gets. Not us, not the players, not even the mods, it's just him. Now, obviously take that with a grain of salt, because most times RobTop is pretty sensible and will rate things generally based off of what the mod sent it for or what the public opinion is. But this is a situation that I think should be brought to light, because sometimes he'll just do what he thinks. Whether that be a misrate or doing nothing at all, it's extremely flawed. So what can we do to solve this? Well, personally, the situation actually seems pretty clear. RobTop needs to allow the mod team to have some extra level of control over what they do right now. It's a bit wild to me that being a moderator is considered this grand achievement in the game to gain the trust from Rob and make these decisions and be an official community figure. Just so when you do start sending levels, he can look at it and just go, nah, nah, nah. And it's rather unfair to the creating community and its diverse products. We have so many great levels out there that get overlooked due to RobTop's singular opinion. And not only that, but also the fact that there are literally thousands of levels getting posted every single day. How could we possibly expect this one man, or realistically this team of maybe 100 people, to scrape through and find every level that's worth a star rating and above? It's nearly impossible, which is in part why I think this angle, this attempt at trying to find solution to the problems in the rate system, are kind of pointless. At the core of it, in order for there to be a significant improvement in how the rating system works, RobTop would either have to grant the mod team more rating power or give up some of his own by way of a partnership. Realistically, I don't see either of these things happening, and if they do, it's definitely not happening because the community started to complain about it. Reminder that it took us nearly 6 months of non-stop spam and complaining and people making videos after videos talking about why it was worth it just to convince RobTop to rate one singular level. Our pool is not nearly what we think it might be. And truth be told, there may be alternative solutions, and I would absolutely love to hear your ideas in the comments. I've had various conversations with friends and peers about the issues here, and these two solutions I talked about seem to be the overwhelming top two. But regardless, I think our eyes should remain elsewhere. There are so many things in the community that we can fix or improve, positive things that could do so much long-term good for everyone involved. The more we upset ourselves over things that we can hardly control, the more that we deteriorate as a core community. So what can we do? Honestly, and I want to say this one-to-one, I would just say to not take this personally. Creating is an intrinsically subjective field. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you shouldn't stand up for your favorite creators if you feel passionate. Sharing your praises or criticisms tastefully is always encouraged, at least to me. But many decisions will be made in the coming years, many that have already been made that we won't agree with. And if that decision happens to be made on your own work, then we have to be able to hold our heads up high, knowing that even if it didn't get the shiny flame on it like we wanted, you still made something that was special to you, and that's what's important. Whether RobTop or the mod team or really anyone else recognizes that isn't nearly as important as you just being happy with a piece of artwork that you spent days, months, maybe even years of your personal time creating. Trust me, with that mindset, you will find so much more positivity and motivation in your time playing this game. What you shouldn't be doing is basing your worth off of how many creator points you've gotten or how many list points you have on the demon list. Because at the end of the day, those are just numbers, they're statistics, and what people say about your work, good or bad, are just opinions. So do what you're passionate about. Do what you want to do. Be creative and don't let anything stop you from that. For the foreseeable future, the rate system is not changing. RobTop is hard at work fixing the game's copious amount of bugs and getting 2.21 out with the new level Explorers, so I highly doubt that his eyes are on changing the system that he's gotten so used to for like a decade now. But I'm an optimist, so I keep my head up high that at the very least maybe he sees these messages, and maybe, just maybe, some further conversation could happen because of this. For the time being though, keep creating. Keep being inspired and inspiring others. Try new things that completely defy what the featured tab might tell you are the best levels in the game. In that way, we'll keep growing together. I'm currently working on a couple projects of my own that I am extremely excited to share to you all. While unfortunately it doesn't look like this March level I planned on will be releasing in March, I'll continue to work hard alongside all of you guys to push this community to new levels. So it was fun talking to you all, but I've got to get going. I have a very busy schedule as I've explained. Remember to subscribe. I'm ZeroSR, and peace out.